Word to your mother. This is how to make a baby with Chancellor Palpatine. Do it. Do it.
Oh.
Do it. Do it.
Oh.
Do it.
Oh.
Do it. Do it.
Oh.
Do it.
Oh.
Do it. Do it.
Oh.
Do it.
Oh.
Do it. Do it.
Oh, you finally made it to the video y'all been waiting for, and I'm gonna let you guys know I got this new Star Wars shirt. Let's check it out. It's awesome. Got the Millennium Falcon. Maybe this is like the Kessel Run or something like that, or maybe the length is like 12 parsecs. So I saw the Rise of Skywalker 3 times because I had to see the third time to prepare for the review, and each time the experience got worse. But I was thankful enough because I gained a perspective, and I finally understood why some people will love it and some people will dislike it or hate it. So I'm gonna do the best I can and explain why. And me personally, I like this movie. I think it's pretty cool, but after watching it a third time, this movie has some gaping plot holes. Like, I just felt like that the story itself felt messy, clumpy, and it was forcing itself to make sense. How can you force a story to make sense without no sensical logic? I felt like in the beginning, Palpatine, it was cool seeing him, but I just find it a little bit weird because having Palpatine come back in the event where there was no hints of Palpatine ever returning in The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi, just from a writing standpoint, it felt like it was a last-minute addition. J.J. Abrams, he was just trying to cater to all the fans, and that was one of the issues with the movie. Like, you can cater to the fans, but still make a cohesive film while doing it. Going back to the beginning of the movie, Palpatine, he is back, and there's supposed to be a reason why he is back. Palpatine, what are you doing back? It's been over 40 years. I asked the film, Rise of Skywalker, why have you returned? You going to answer my question? You have 2 hours and 22 minutes to answer my question. And what's his answer?
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Okay, that's okay. I guess that kind of is like a way for us saying like that it doesn't supposed to have logic. Just go with it because he says so. Alright, so Kylo Ren. Alright, so one of the things I like about this new franchise, I like the character arc for Kylo Ren. Him kill his father, which was tragic to him. Actually, he felt a little some type of way about it. He hasn't quite fully healed from that moment. Actually, it damaged him even more, made him more conflicted between the light and the dark. And then The Last Jedi, he tried to consume himself in the dark side by further going that route. I actually, in him dying along with Princess Leia, and speaking of Princess Leia, that was a very emotional scene. They did a very good job of utilizing Carrie Fisher, the late great Carrie Fisher. They did a fantastic job of doing that. I have to give them high praise for that. Despite me liking that scene, there were a few things that I just had issues with. Kylo Ren definitely was one of my favorite characters in this whole entire movie. One of the most interesting villains, basically in the whole entire, one of the best villains in the franchise, if not probably second best behind Vader. Lando Calrissian made an appearance in this movie, and I thought to myself, yes, because when I went to Comic-Con back in 2017, I asked Billy D. Williams, did Disney ever contact you for possibly appearing in Episode 9? And Billy D. Williams was like, no, they haven't contacted me. I haven't heard anything. I mean, me watching Billy D. Williams on TV as a child, I thought he's gonna be like, oh, how you doing, old buddy? I see you too. Oh yes indeed. How you doing, Colt 45? It sucks, but I wasn't expecting him to be an old man cranky guy. I'm glad he is in this movie. He had a decent performance. He had like a couple appearances in this movie. Didn't really do too much for the plot, but he made some appearances. But he had this one awkward scene with this former stormtrooper girl, and she was basically like what 40 years younger than him, and he was Lando Calrissian looked back at her and he was like, you know where you're from? And then she was like, no, I don't know where I'm from. And then Lando Calrissian is like, yeah, let's find out. I'll show you the compass that leads towards my dick. It's a weird, awkward, cringy scene for me personally. I don't know if that scene affected anyone else. One of my main character arcs in this movie, there's two character arcs in this movie they totally messed up. The first character that really hit me the most was Finn's character. What a complete waste of a character. I just can't believe how they had an interesting character arc with beginning in Force Awakens. They had a good setup from J.J. Abrams. He was a defective stormtrooper who turned to the Resistance. And then The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson didn't really do too much with him. But then in this movie, he did a little bit to a bare minimum. Looking back at this trilogy, after watching the trilogy recently and watching the this new movie, The Rise of Skywalker, his character is only a black man only chasing after a white woman. That's essentially his character arc. There wasn't a moment in this movie where they could have developed his character even more, even though there was moments in this movie where they could have hinted it, like him killing off stormtroopers. He is a former stormtrooper himself. Finn is. So will his character be affected if he sees that other humans who suffered the same fate as him or similar to his are being forced to fight in the First Order, and they had to kill, and he's killing them in cold blood and just saying, woo, woo, woo. There wasn't a moment where he was like, took a moment to himself. It's like, man, I need to start trying to turn these guys to the Resistance. It would have added, at least if they'd done that in this movie or something similar in The Last Jedi, I could understand his character arc going forward. Especially he was trying to tell Rey how he feels about her, but we never got the conclusion to that. So we will never know. Did J.J. Abrams rewatch this movie when he was done? Did he knew what kind of holes that this film was going to lead on to? Maz Kanata. Her backstory is she was a former Force-sensitive Jedi, I believe. And, and her character, throughout looking back at this whole entire trilogy, is she's just the exposition character. In the first movie, in Force Awakens, she was just the exposition character who happened to find, like, Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. But then when the guy asked her, how did you get Luke Skywalker's lightsaber? When Finn asked her the question, and she was like, won't you ask me again at another time? Not! Because they didn't really even answer that question in The Rise of Skywalker. And they didn't answer the question in The Last Jedi. So it's just like one of those things that we will never know. Oh, she is giving her dying wish towards the Force to talk to her son. What a heart moment, just in case that the audience can't comprehend for themselves. Basically, Palpatine he is resurrecting himself through the Force, and he created all of these hordes of Star Destroyers with small Death Star guns underneath the ships. And then he is on this mysterious planet named Exegol, and our heroes need to find a location throughout the movie. But the way this movie was structured, they had to travel through 4 locations just to gain information, just to get to Exegol. The first location, they gotta meet Lando Calrissian. Lando Calrissian was the spy that was dispatched by Princess Leia. Rey, Finn, and Poe gotta meet Lando Calrissian because he has a clue that leads on to location 2. They must go to location 2 to locate the dagger, but they lost the dagger, so they became lost. So basically that was the end of the movie. But at some random conversation, at a random time, they were able to find out the location because C-3PO conveniently actually has all the description codes from the dagger. So therefore, they never needed a dagger in the first place. But they can't access the description codes because his hard drive doesn't allow him to do so. So they had to find a code breaker at location 3. They go to location 3 to find a code breaker, and then they meet Poe Dameron's old Power Ranger girlfriend from Daft Punk, and we pretty much have another scene that's similar to the Canto Bight scene in Last Jedi. We're just basically having this video game plot, jumping from A, point B, point C, point D, and then once you complete point D, go to the main Bowser fight, ultimate Bowser fight. The Rise of Skywalker was basically playing Mario, Super World. Here we go! Couldn't access the description codes because it will wipe out his memory if they do so. So they happened to wipe out his memory, and all of a sudden, C-3PO had an emotional character arc. R2-D2 conveniently had a backup file. So basically all that emotional tension was just sucked out the movie. Oh, there's more of that. The fact of the matter is that when Rey, you know, she used her powers to like trying to bring back Chewie because Chewie was kidnapped by the Knights of Ren, and she destroyed the whole entire ship and Chewie along with it. Well, as we thought. And I thought that if having Chewie die would have added a huge emotional impact, and it would have been a memorable moment in Star Wars history. Come on. If they just went that route, but it's like, no, we're just gonna play it safe and just say he was on a different ship, an invisible ship. He wasn't there in the first place. We just want to scare you, but just bring him back, so therefore, you know, we won't mess things up. Oh, but wait, there's more. When it comes to Rey, I understand. She is a Palpatine. She is super powerful. I get that. I understand that. But still, I don't really agree with it because they never showed how she's able to at least learn these abilities. She's deflecting laser beams with her hand. So what's the point of using a lightsaber if you can do that? If you can deflect laser beams with your hands? She can definitely give Wonder Woman a run for her money. Hey, we reveal that Rey is the granddaughter of Palpatine, and you know, and I'm just like, whoa, okay, I'm just shocked. Okay, I don't really agree with it. They would take that route, but okay, I guess I accept it. But there's just more questions than belief, because did Palpatine fuck as a human, or did he fuck when he was when he was burnt up? I mean, I just don't know. He had a son, so was it pre-Empire or was it post-Empire? I'm trying to think about the time discrepancy, and according to the time discrepancy, it's probably looking like he had a baby post-Empire. So therefore, he had a burnt up scrawny dick. And I'm just like, who would fuck that? He probably just used midichlorians and just injected it inside their bloodstream and got them pregnant. Yeah, that's probably what he did. Darth Plagueis style. Then Rey was fighting, you know, Chancellor Palpatine, and Palpatine was like, strike me down. And we saw the vision of Rey earlier in the movie when she was fighting herself. That was a really cool scene. But Rey fighting Chancellor Palpatine was kind of a weird fight in a way, because she had to use Force lightning, and she used 2 lightsabers to repel his lightning. And I'm just like, okay, she's able to deflect that and able to kill Palpatine, and then she died. But then Kylo Ren came back. This is the scene where I kind of lost my shit. Like, this didn't make sense whatsoever. Like, you saw this early in the video, this didn't make sense. Like, I saw the third time, the people in the screening laughed. Like, so Ben Solo turned back to the light, and they had a kissing session. He brought her back with the Force. They kissed, and I'm just like, how? Why? There was no more emotional setup that led on to that. I mean, are you saying, okay, maybe there were. Maybe when he took off his shirt, maybe that was when she was like, hey. That was really abrupt. It's like they was just trying to cater to the hashtag Reylo. I don't know. It just didn't make sense at all. And then having him die was kind of a FU moment, because I felt like that was like a shot or something. You have the power to save the ones you love, but you couldn't save yourself. I don't know. It was just one of those funny moments. It's just so abrupt. That scene right there didn't need to happen. Come on. Don't not make this the next Joker and Harley Quinn, because I'll put that shit down. And just the fact that Rey killed Palpatine in that kind of a fashion, saying that I am all the Sith, and then Rey was like, I am all the Jedi. Basically, so she technically has all the power of the Jedi. Is it sort of remind me of a Naruto moment when Naruto found out he had all the power of all the Jinchuriki just to fight Kyuga. At the end of the movie, she went to Tatooine. She went at the very location where Luke Skywalker was raised. She buried Luke Skywalker's lightsaber and Princess Leia's lightsaber. And then later, this lady asked her, like, who is she? Who are you? And she was like, I'm Rey. And then she looked at the apparitions of Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia, and she said, I am Skywalker. I understood why she took the name of Skywalker, because she was connected with the Skywalkers ever since the beginning, and since she doesn't really have a family, she needed someone to connect to, so she automatically gravitated towards them because their son was lost to the dark side, and knowing that she isn't related to Palpatine, it just makes her character arc at least understandable of why she take that Skywalker name, because they brought her in knowing that she is a granddaughter of the Sith, and they still took her in and trained her because they saw the good spirit within her character. So she automatically gravitated towards that. So she has no choice but to inherit the Skywalker name. Overall, this movie is just fine. I still enjoyed as a Star Wars movie. The Knights of Ren was underutilized. They didn't really give much backstory to the Knights of Ren. And also the traitor, General Hux, they kind of diminished his character because Rian Johnson made him a baby boy in The Last Jedi in this movie as well. So they just had to replace him with another sinister general just so therefore we could be scared or something like that. But you can still watch it as a Star Wars movie. It has some flaws here and there, but it's still good. So yes, that's my spoiler review of the Rise of Skywalker. It has finally ended, and I still enjoy the trilogy for what it is, but the trilogy does diminish, and the prequels have a better cohesive story, especially Revenge of the Sith had a better cohesive story than this movie. It's really embarrassing to say so, but Revenge of the Sith is technically a better movie. So thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you like everything you see and you agree, subscribe to my channel and join me in the Batman family, and give me your thoughts on the Rise of Skywalker. Comment below and let's talk about it. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you like everything you see and you agree, subscribe to my channel and join me in the Batman family. I'll have more Batman-tastic reviews in the way. You have been warned. Till then, may the Force be with you.